Hello, I'm Chris Stegman, and welcome to Trip Connected. This week's episode, we have our friends from Caille in. We have Shannon Lingwall, who's the Sales Director at Caille, and then we have Mike Marron, who's not the head winemaker, but the winemaker at Caille. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
I have to tell you, there are certain ones that I'm very excited about. Different episodes I'm very excited about. Wine is always a great topic for me. I love talking about wine. I know the last time we met, I could talk for hours about it. But also, I love your restaurant and the food there. I've been there quite a few times recently. So we're going to get started today. First, I'd like to shift to you, Shannon. Talk a little bit about, I've been to Caille quite a few times, and as I've told people about my experience there, and just when you drive up the driveway, what you see, it's stunning. But the comment I get back from a lot of people is they didn't even know Caille was open still.
Yes.
So tell me what's going on in Caille.
We are actually a French chateau restaurant. We opened in 1974, and we've been open continuously on through that. We are at the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon, 22 acres, 3 acres of which are a vineyard. And we host lots of events, weddings, parties, receptions, any kind of medical conferences, anything goes up there. We also have a wine pairing room that we do wine pairings with food. So we can hit all nails on the head up there.
So just a little background, 74 you guys opened. I know it's had some different changes in ownership. And
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that and what's happened over the years? I think why some people thought that things have changed at Caille.
So we had the previous owners actually back in 2008 when the financial burden fell on everyone. The owners got in some financial trouble and had to file bankruptcy, and so the new owner bought the restaurant and completely transformed it and saved it. At that point, the restaurant was going to be demolished because no one could really afford to keep it up and running. And the new owner came in and saved the day. So kind of like our little hero over there in the canyon. So.
Kind of similar to our story, actually,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Yes,
we weren't going to be demolished because we don't own the building, but some days we'd like to demolish this building. Maybe we get out of our lease, but we had a similar story too.
Yeah.
We've since had a resurgence as well.
Yeah, we have completely updated the restaurant, remodeled, and we're really excited for some new things that are coming up. We're going to be making an announcement after the new year about some new areas that are opening up. And
Can't talk about it now?
Can't quite talk about it yet because we're not 100% sure exactly where things are going to be positioned, but know that there will be a new lounge opening up there. Maybe some sports bar where you can come up and watch some sports.
Caille sports bar?
I know. We really want to be able to offer the restaurant to anyone that wants to come. So you don't have to come and do a 5-course dinner. You can come up and just have hors d'oeuvres and a bottle of wine, or come up and watch one of your favorite games and have some light food fare.
So our first experience, my wife and his first experience at Caille was brunch on a Sunday, and I have to tell you the French toast.
Oh, there. I know.
So I don't know what he does to the French toast, or if there's a recipe available. But
we should post the recipe. Yes, it's creme brulee. So they put some raw sugar on top, and then they boil it and broil it, and it gets a really crunchy little topping on it.
So it's not healthy like the way.
No, it's not healthy. And the caramel croissants, forget it.
Oh yeah, they bring those before the meal. Which is
I know.
Criminal.
And then you need another basket halfway through.
Yeah. So from a menu standpoint, so I know Chef Billy has been there for the 6 years.
6 years, I believe. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Chef Billy and about kind of what I was there a couple weeks ago, and he was serving tuna based on a vacation he took. He was inspired by.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, I went to order it. It was out that night.
Oh, no.
So, yes.
Sold out. Yes, he does lots of menu changes, which is really nice. We always update the menu seasonally. Mm-hmm. So we just created a new menu right now. We have amazing duck, also buco, that is got a new spin on it, and just all sorts of delicious things.
Are there any signature dishes that are always going to be in the menu that are can't misses?
Some of our appetizers, our lobster bisque will never be off the menu. We're famous for it. Our duck is amazing. It's crispy skin duck and then cooked perfectly medium rare. It's amazing.
So kind of off the wall question, not related to food, kind of food, but I hope it's not on the menu. The peacocks.
Oh, yeah.
So the last time I drove on lot, I almost hit one.
There's so much wildlife up there.
But I guess they just found their way there. They weren't placed there.
They weren't placed there, actually. They just were there one day, and now we have probably about 30 on the property. And every year we have new babies. We also have ducks and geese and bunny rabbits and chickens. And it's almost impossible not to see a deer when you're on the property. So they're friendly at this point. They come right up to you and say hello. So.
And I know, but I sat outside in the summer eating, and the peacocks walked right up to us.
I know.
So I'm assuming people give them handouts.
Yes, they're very tame, and they're not afraid of humans at all. Yeah. And we really try to refrain from feeding them, but it's almost torturous not to.
Yeah, they kind of gave me the eyes. I didn't give them any food, but I kind of felt a little bit threatened. But,
feed me or else.
They weren't aggressive. Thank goodness.
They're not afraid to jump on your table and take what they want.
Interesting. They're fairly large to jump on the table.
And they do.
So, the last time I was there, and I didn't realize this, one of the front buildings of the property, you're now actually renting out.
We are.
And I saw pictures online of the facility with the hot tub and.
Yes, we have a cottage that we rent out. It's a 2-night minimum, and it rents for $395 a night.
Which is a bargain for something like that.
It really is, and you can just stroll up the lane and go have dinner. Has a hot tub off the back, and all the land behind that is protected, so you'll always see lots of wildlife, and it's perfect romantic getaway or business trip or just a night away to relax.
How often is it booked? Is it available?
It's available online at lacaille.com, and you can make reservations there. And it is booked quite often, so I recommend trying to get on there early.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've actually thought about it for guests that come into town.
Yeah.
Because I don't live too far from LaCaille. It'd be a great way for them to get to experience something different, but yet still kind of be out of my hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Proverbially, because I have no hair, but yes.
Very smart.
So any special events coming up?
We do have some really great events coming up on the 26th and 27th. We're doing our lights on. It's $10 a person.
November 26th
and 27th. And it's kind of a way to come up and see all of our Christmas decorations for the holidays. We offer hot cocoa and free cookies to everyone. And there will be some fun little things going on, maybe some cards to Santa, a photo booth. And then we also have a Santa brunch that we are offering 3 times in December. Okay. And that is on the 5th, 12th, and 19th. And that's only on brunch, so you have to get on and make your reservation. And you can take your kids up there, and they can meet Santa and have their picture taken.
So the difference with your regular brunch, just the Santa?
Santa will be there.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the Christmas decorations will be up, and Santa gives all the kids a little gift, and he's an amazing Santa.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Now, you guys won quite a bit of awards in Salt City Best. One of them was the best wedding venue. And I got married a year ago in December. Had no idea you had this beautiful facility.
Oh, yes.
So how often are you doing weddings there?
So we do weddings a lot during the summer and in the fall. This is our most popular time for weddings. We also do some in the winter, but it is beautiful. We have a grand atrium that seats about 500 people. So you can actually go and have your dinner in there for all your guests, especially if you have a large wedding. And it is... You don't need to buy flowers. The property's decorated for you. So, which I think is really spectacular.
That's great. That's great. Anything else upcoming?
No, I think that's it.
I know you said you can't talk about things being announced in the first of the year.
I want to so bad, and it's so exciting, and we will definitely let you know.
That'd be great,
when we're ready to roll out the
Can't
new
wait to
grand
enjoy the
opening.
sports bar. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we're going to shift. I do love food, but we are going to shift to wine, which I love maybe a little bit more than food if I had a choice. So Mike, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
So, my name is Mike Marron, and I was in the banking business for a long time. When I was young, I was always fascinated with wine. I think I was just born that way. I can't remember any other reason why, but I've always been fascinated with it. I started making wine at a young age. I planted a little vineyard in the backyard where I grew up. I had a large backyard, and started making wine from that. In fact, I still have that vineyard to make wine. And I'm a self-taught winemaker. I had a lot of chemistry in college, so it's helped me along the way. And a good friend of mine who happened to be a good friend of the current owners, he told me that I wanted to reopen their winery and their vineyard and see if I was interested in helping out. So that was about 6 years ago, and I'm still there.
So when 6 years, so the winery had been closed for a while.
Yeah, I believe the prior owners, I think their last vintage was 2002.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then the current owner bought the property in 2011, and our first vintage was 2016.
How much repair had to be done to the vineyard and to the facilities there to be able to get it up to speed? Because you can't just start harvesting wine right away.
Right.
Grapes.
So they started before I got there.
Okay.
They started rehabbing the vineyard. It hadn't been pruned properly for a long time, and they started taking care of that, I think, in about 2012 or 13.
Okay.
So it took a few years to get it going back to it was. All the old winemaking equipment it was just thrown away. But we bought new equipment for our winery, and we have a small facility, but it's adequate for our size. We have about 3¼ acres of grapes. The vineyard, people might think that, oh, you can't grow grapes in Utah. Well, actually, it's actually a great place to grow Utah for a lot of reasons. Primarily the climate. The winters are really not too bad as far as temperatures go. We get a lot of snow, but the snow doesn't hurt the vines. They're dormant. They're basically a fruit tree they're dormant in the winter. Where the vineyard is situated is really a spectacular place. If people that haven't been up there, if they come up to see it, everybody's in awe how pretty it is. It sits right at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon. It's at 5,300 feet above sea level. And because of the canyon, the V in the canyon, it gets sunlight early in the morning. And being up on the bench sloped, it gets sunlight, even late at night. So that keeps the grapes, gives them all the sun they need. The temperatures during the summer are perfect, hot days, cool nights, very little rainfall in the summer. We don't have to worry about mildew because of the humidity. And then given the altitude, we get really good spreads between the high and the low. It's referred to as the diurnal spread. So, in September, we'll have, temperatures, as everybody knows, 90s, mid-90s is not uncommon. And nights up there, we get down to 40 degrees.
Wow.
So we get a really nice spread, which keeps the grapes, they ripen slowly, keeps the sugar-acid balance right. And, excuse me, and it's just an ideal place. It's the French came up with this term a long time ago. They call it terroir, and it basically means a sense of place, but it really is a combination of the soils, the climates, and the way the vines are tended. Our vines, all they really get is water. We just give them some organic fertilizer from our compost pile. Other than that, they get water and a lot of TLC. It's all taken care of by hand. We have a lot of customers that come help us pick the grapes. We have 3 or 4 people that tend the vineyard, and those are really well cared for grapes.
Tell me about the type of grapes you're able to grow. You said 3½ acres.
So we have most of our grapes the name of the grape is Sales Blanc. That's a French hybrid grape. We also have some red grapes called Dornfelder. So this wine is made from the Savals. We refer to it as Enchanté, and which means we're glad to meet you in French. And it's 100% Sales Blanc. It's made in what I refer to as a French style, meaning it's bone dry, it's crisp because it has a nice acid balance in there. No oak, stainless steel fermented. It goes well with a lot of variety of foods. It's great by itself. The Dornfelder, we use that to make our rosé. We also use some Saval to make that. It's again like a French style, dry wine, full-bodied, no oak, so the fruit from the grapes can come through. They're both really nice wines.
What kind of production each year do you have on each one of those?
So we make about 125 cases of the Enchanté and about 50 cases of the rosé.
Okay.
So it's a small production.
Small production, but
that's about what you can get from 3 acres of
Yeah.
grapes.
I'm assuming you almost sell out every year then of it.
We do, yeah. Every year we sell out, and we actually lose a lot of our grapes to the deer. The deer
I
eat
can
about
imagine.
between 25 to 40% of our production, and it's a lot. And it's kind of the cost of doing business. The only way we could prevent that is if we built a fence around the vineyard, but then who wants to get married in a vineyard with a fence
Yeah.
around it? So
you could have rather than your members come pick grapes, have them come hunt
Yeah,
on your
there you
property.
go.
Maybe set up some deer stands.
Yeah.
Kind of off the path of
Good
where
idea.
the weddings are. So yeah.
that would be nice. So, but we're real happy with the quality of the wines. And if people haven't been up to visit us, we'd love to have you come up.
Yeah. Now I didn't realize until we met the last time there that you actually do wine tastings, or you have a full service winery there that I can schedule a wine tasting and then go have dinner, or just do a wine tasting alone.
Yeah, we do. So we have in the winery we have a tasting room where we come and have wine tastings. We also have a package agency in the winery, which is the state's name for a liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
So people can come up and taste wines. They can buy wines and take them home with them. They can also, buy wines there and drink them in the restaurant. We also sell the wines in the restaurant.
So I can buy it and pay a corking fee in the restaurant?
Yes, you can.
I didn't know that. So learned something new. So that's great.
So, we don't sell them in the state stores,
Okay.
simply because our production is
Sure.
low enough that we don't need to market them that way.
So with small production, how much wine do you sell in the restaurant versus just in the winery?
So right now, it's about the restaurant buys about 70% of our production,
Okay.
and then retail customers buy the rest.
Because you have a great wine list in the restaurant too.
Yeah,
So-
we do. It's by far the best wine list of any
Oh,
restaurant
yeah.
in Salt Lake.
It's almost intimidating when you look
Yeah,
at it,
it
trying
is.
to pick something out. So talk a little bit. You have red there, and I know you have a Pinot, a Merlot, and a Cabernet as well.
So we do. So we source grapes from other parts of the country, specifically California and Washington State, and we buy the wine when it's finished being fermented. We bring it in barrels, and then we finish up what would just be called the aging and fining process to get it to what we call the Caille style. We blend these wines together.
Okay.
This particular wine is, we call it the Choix Evident, which means obvious choice. This is always a Bordeaux blend. It'll be at least 3 of the Bordeaux varietals, maybe up to the 5 there is, but usually it's between 3 and 4. And it changes every year, depending upon what we can do. We try to make it very similar every year with, the same body, the same bouquet and the finish, but it's very nice wine. It'll age for a very long time based on it because of its chemical
I wish
background.
I could age wine. I just drink it too fast.
Well, if you buy enough of it, you can put some away.
I can't afford to buy enough of it. So.
We also, as you mentioned earlier, we have a Pinot Noir, a Cabernet Sauvignon, and a Merlot. We didn't bring those today, but they're all available, to taste and buy up at the winery.
Yeah, your Cabernet, and I took a group there a couple weeks ago, and the Cabernet was actually the hit amongst the group
nice.
as far as the reds when they chose it.
Yeah.
So we didn't taste the Merlot because it's not ready yet, but the Cab was the hit, and we carried from the wine room of the tasting over to dinner.
Oh,
with
great.
The Cab, which was great, and it's fairly affordable too.
Yeah, it's for the quality of it, it's an extremely affordable price point.
Now, I know you can't always, divulge where you bought the actual wine from in California, but is there criteria you look at on who you'll buy your wine from the when it's in the barrels?
Well, the way this works is I get samples of
Okay.
wine in, and first of all, I check the chemistries on the wine, because if they're not going to be able to be married together based on their chemical background, then it's no sense even messing with them. So first of all, we get quite a few samples in, and then Shannon and I taste them, and then we blend them together, and we'll get, it just depends on how they're all different, so it just depends on what works out. But we'll make, several blends, maybe as many as 8, at least usually 3 to 5. to come up with the percentages that we want. So even though, we didn't actually grow those grapes and
Sure.
ferment that wine, we finished the wine. We chose the barrels it was going to be in, the length of time it was going to be in the barrels, the acid composition of the wine, the alcohol content of the wine. And we blend those together, and then we bottle them under our label.
How many do you try? Do you send? I'm assuming you say no to some.
We probably, of all the samples we get, we end up buying less than 10% of them.
Wow. Okay. So you're looking for something specific.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's got to, it has to be, suitable for the Caille brand, and it's really, I think if you come taste them, you'll agree. You really can't get any more premium wine than these.
Yeah.
There really isn't. It's the way it is.
So out of curiosity, I'm always curious with winemakers. Do you have a preference of French versus American oak?
It really depends. I mean, I think I prefer French myself, just based on my palate. Some grapes go better with both some American. I think Cabernets, probably if you use a little of each, it gives a little better oak flavor to it. But I just have always been kind of partial to French oak.
Gotcha. Just curious. But you said some go better with American. So in some cases, do you choose?
No,
American?
I always just use French.
You always
oak.
choose French. Okay.
But I do like a little American oak in with Cabernet sometimes. But if I had to pick one, I'd pick French oak.
Gotcha. So tell me about this year's crop. So good crop, bad
Well, we
crop?
had the quality of the crop. We had a really good quality. The summer was perfect.
Okay.
As everybody knows, it was extremely hot and dry. A little too hot. The grapes ripened a little bit sooner than we had hoped for. But there's nothing you can do. It's when they're ready, they're ready. Every year is different. The deer had a little more feasting than we would hope for.
Oh boy.
We lost probably 40% to the deer.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, there's nothing we can do about it. But the quality of the remaining grapes, they were fantastic.
Great. And so what we can buy now is the 19s?
So we're selling the 2018 Enchanté.
Okay.
And the 2019 Rosé.
Okay.
We only have not many cases of the 19 left. We'll be selling the 20 probably right after Christmas.
Okay. And as far as library wines, you have older
library wines.
We've
saved 5 cases of every wine we've made. We're not selling those. We're saving those for the restaurants so we can have, like a library dinner.
Okay.
Which
very nice.
we'll probably have. We haven't had one of those yet, but now that we're getting, we have 5 vintages of several wines, so we'll have some of those next year, I believe, for sure.
Very nice. Very nice. And so, do you have wine members? I know in Utah it's kind of funny about wine clubs. So
Yeah,
how can I buy wine or be a member and come help you harvest?
You can come help us harvest anytime you want.
Sounds like you need more help shooting deer.
We'll put you on our list.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
want to do that.
Perfect.
You have to talk to the wildlife department about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, no.
But
Not a hunter.
But yeah, we don't do wine clubs because
Okay.
we're a state. In Utah's a control state, so we can't offer that. But we can offer every other experience that a winery does. Personal tour of the vineyard, of the winery, and it's very educational for a lot of people. Anybody that's interested in wine and hasn't been up to Caille, I think they should spend the time to come up.
Yeah. And so I think if I heard you right last time, we can buy wine on Sundays at the winery?
Yeah, so we have our package agency is a specific package agency for wineries, breweries, and distilleries. So we can sell wine starting 11 p.m.
Okay.
11 a.m. Until the restaurant closes, which is up around 10 o'clock, and we can sell it on Sundays and holidays as well.
And Sunday, same hours, 11 a.m. through?
No, our hours are when the restaurant is open, like on a holiday, because the winery itself is closed and on Sundays and Saturdays, but the restaurant's open, so the package agency is open when they're open.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. Good to know, especially on Sundays when you're in a pinch.
Yeah.
You need a bottle of wine, so you can't get it anywhere else. So what's upcoming with you with the winery and any? I know one of the things when I toured it a couple weeks ago, I think it was Mark. I asked the question. Maybe a late harvest. It seems like you guys are perfect for a late harvest wine. Is that on the
Well, you know, I've wanted to make a late harvest wine because you're absolutely correct. We have the climate where
Yeah.
we could make a late harvest dessert wine, you know, an ice wine. However, we have the problem with the deer again,
Okay.
because we have to net the vines, which most countries do. They net vines to protect them from birds and other predators, and you know, let them freeze. But with the netting you use, deer can bite through those with nobody's business. So we'd actually have to fence off a little portion. And, you know, maybe at some point in time, you know, we'd fence off a few rows and make some ice wine, because it would be delicious.
Yeah, I would love to try that. So ice wine is amazing.
And I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
a lot of people, I think, don't appreciate dessert wines because they're so sweet.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have their own character, and they're really fantastic.
Yeah, the only thing I hate about dessert wines is they come in a smaller bottle.
That's right.
And I have to share it normally, which sucks. Any thought of expanding the vineyards and creating more acreage for vines?
You know, we've talked about that. We have an orchard up there too, which is just west of the main parking lot. We have fruit trees in there now, and we've talked about maybe planting some more grapes there. There's also some land east of us that we have access to. It's about 3/4 of an acre, and I think we're going to plant some vines up there. Probably not till 2023.
Okay.
We are going to expand our Dornfelder this spring. We're going to 1.5 times the size of that
great.
this spring. We have some area we've talked about it for a while, and we've decided it's time to do it.
Great. And any thought? Could you grow a Cabernet, or
You know,
the red varietal of some sort?
I don't think Cabernets will ripen here,
Okay.
because our season is,
Yeah.
is too short. Pinot Noirs will
Yeah.
ripen. Cabernet Franc will ripen. Merlot probably not, but Syrahs will work well up there. But you know, our Enchanté is such a fantastic wine. We don't want to. We'd have to rip up something
Yeah,
to plant something
no.
else, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think we'll probably stay with our mainstay of the
Sure.
Enchanté and the Rosé.
Don't fix what's not broken.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah. So you all are going to be at Salt City Best Fest. And-
Yeah, we're going to be there.
And we are going to be pouring the Caille wine in the VIP area, and we're going to be pairing it with food from the Wendover Nugget, which I'm excited about,
Yes.
because they're pairing their menu based on your wine. So, and then dessert, we're going to be able to taste the Caille dessert in the French
Yes.
Cafe.
Yes.
So do you know what Abby's making for
I'm
it?
not sure what Ali actually.
sorry, Ali, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
okay. Is making it, but I'm sure it will be delicious. We've never had more raves about our pastry chef than her.
Yeah, I've heard. Well, I've had dessert there a couple of times.
Yeah.
The bread pudding is
Oh.
to die for.
Yes.
So hopefully she's bringing some. Of
I
that.
hope so. I'll put in a little word for you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on today. Sounds like some exciting things happening in Caille. I can't wait for announcements next year.
Yes.
I'd love to come to some of the library dinners if those get announced.
I'll make sure you're on our list when we
That'd
have
be
it.
grateful. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for your
you so
time.
much.
We
All right.
appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.